Real Estate Investing Profits presents Profit Masters with your host, world-renowned real estate coach and investor, Corey Boatwright. Now, strap in and get ready to learn elite wealth-building investment strategies taught by 6- and 7-figure house flipping masters as they reveal their best real estate investing profit secrets to you right now.
What's going on? This is Corey Boatwright from Real Estate Investing Profits and your host today on Real Estate Investing Profit Master Podcast Series. I have got an incredible interview, another one lined up for you with none other than Mr. Jay Adkins and his wife, Annie. Now, what you're going to hear in this interview is a little bit different, okay? Because Jay's pretty successful in several areas of his life, but he really talks about some of the biggest struggles that him and Annie had to go through. And it's probably one of my favorite interviews that we've done so far. And it's because he's so real on what he went through and some of his struggles in life. He got personal, and you're going to want to listen in. He dropped some, just incredible golden nuggets that even if you just use one of them, you'll be able to have a positive impact in your life. He focuses heavily on lease options, but believe it or not, he's actually putting a bigger emphasis, or I guess just as big of an emphasis on wholesaling, okay? And he and I actually met through one of our classes that I put on for flipping contracts, not houses. And I'm telling you what, this guy story just blew me away. And he's him and Annie have been through ups and downs. And if you're a husband and wife team, you are definitely going to want to listen to this. If you've just had some struggles in your life and you want to realize that other people have been there too, this is one of the interviews you definitely want to listen to as well. All right, so make sure that you text the word profit to 38470. You can download your study guide, all right? And that is a quick start study guide. It is the down and dirty flipping study guide. And I'm telling you what, that thing gets downloaded all the time. So make sure you do that. And I want you to really take some notes. Now, obviously, if you're driving, if you're walking around, jogging around, then you probably cannot do that. But if you're sitting down, and you have a pen and paper, just take some notes on this podcast because he really drops some great, some great tips that you'll want to apply in your business. So here is Jay and Annie Adkins. Oh yeah, by the way, when we did this interview, they were both side by side. So when we do our interviews on the video. Now, if you're listening to this, it doesn't matter. But when you're listening, when you're watching this on our realestateeinvestingprofits.com/podcast, okay, what you'll see is you'll see just some still shots that we put in because when we did the interview, they were both side by side, and then we do a production change for we do these interviews on Skype. And it cut them out that you couldn't see their faces, so we had to make do as best we could. So make sure you that's one of the reasons that you'll see some of the still shots in there. But the interview's perfect. I love what they had to say. So here you go. Here's Jay and Annie Adkins. Jay, Annie, how are you?
Good, Corey. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal. Man. Doing phenomenal. We had a 2-for-1 today, right?
Yes.
That's great. I love it. I think this will be the first time that we ever had a husband and wife do the interview together. We've had a father and son duo, but we haven't had a husband and wife, so that'd be great.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. All right, so obviously, with the podcast, what we're doing here is we're really showcasing you on how you are just crushing it in real estate. One thing specific that we talk about is our Profit Master real estate strategies, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the ways that that you're really doing something that is giving you the advantage. So we'll talk about that. But in the beginning here, what I'd like to do is go ahead and just introduce yourself and talk about what specific area of real estate that you're in right now and how that's working for you.
Okay. Well, first of all, we live in the Central Ohio area. So we're in the Columbus, Ohio region.
Columbus. Is it cold?
Yeah.
Is it cold there right now?
It's actually 60 degrees today.
Oh my gosh.
Which is like a
very
heat.
strange.
It's a heat wave.
That is like that's really strange. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've been here pretty much our whole lives, and we love the area. It's we live in a smaller town outside of Columbus.
So everybody knows everybody?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, for
Which
the most
could be
part.
good and bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so everybody's into everyone's business too, right?
Yes.
Something happens and someone else phones you. It's like, how did you know that?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it is good because once you get established, people just call you when they have houses they want to get rid of.
No, that's really cool. I was gonna say, so how big is how big is the area?
Our small town area is about 75,000 people.
Okay. And so you market, you specifically stay in that Columbus area?
Well, we do Columbus as well. So Columbus is about just under 1 million people.
Okay. So 1 million, so Columbus, and then you do your outside area. So really, if you break it down though, do you do a lot of absentee owners?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your world, our world here in Oklahoma City is like 1.5 million or so, right? But then if you start breaking it all the way down, I mean, you really start to, have a smaller list of people. Do you do a lot of direct mail?
We do a little bit. We don't do a lot currently. It is in our vision for our business to continue extending that. Mm-hmm. We just started doing that in the last couple of years.
I gotcha.
Before that, I've been licensed for a long time. So before that, we just got deals off the MLS left and right. I mean, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
But when the market shifted here for the better a couple years ago, we had to start changing our business model and finding some more of our own deals.
Okay.
So we started doing our own, some of our own direct mail, and then doing some other marketing advertisements as well.
Okay. So how are you both working in the business together? I'm really curious on kind of who handles what and how you're focused like that. How you make it work on a day-to-day basis.
Go ahead, honey.
Well, some days are better than others, obviously.
It's not all roses and bubble gum and peaches.
No, there was a definite adjustment period. Jay was doing a lot of it on his own, and then just figured out he couldn't do much more than what he was doing to get it any bigger than what it was. So he was talking about hiring an assistant, and at the time I was working for myself doing other things. So I'm like, why are we going to spend money hiring somebody to do stuff that I could basically be doing? So
wow.
I stopped doing what I was doing, which was cleaning houses and doing taxes and a bunch of other different things, and started slowly working for him. And then it kind of progressed to where now I run all of the rehab crews.
You do, Annie. You run all the rehab crews. Wow. That's very interesting.
Yes.
Do you really enjoy it?
I do. The guys may not, but I do.
You keep them on a short leash, you run a pretty tight ship.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. So, but it is an adjustment period because Jay was used to doing it. So he's still kind of, there are days where it's better than others, like I said.
That's really interesting. So from there, Jay, you let her do that, which is really interesting role. And then what did you go do?
I've been focusing more on building out our systems for how we do everything, processes, how to do cost estimates, rehab sheets, how to hire and fire contractors, and just packaging all that together because we launched our own coaching program. We've done really well with our fix and flips. So we wanted to roll that out to other people. So now we have our own coaching students that we're coaching as well.
That's great.
Yeah. So
and that's just in fix and flip. So let's roll back for a second. So your expertise right now is focusing mostly on fix and flips or lease options. Is that what you say? Those are the two core areas?
Yeah, and wholesaling.
And now you're wanting to do more wholesaling, or have you already done some wholesaling in the past?
we've already done some.
Okay.
I think we wholesaled 6 or 7 houses last year.
Okay, so you're really wanting to step that up.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. We would like to change that to about 6 to 7 a month.
6 to 7 a month, right?
Yeah.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
Well, and actually going through the course that we just finishing up now, the flipping contracts, not houses. We went over quite a few things that hopefully there's a few things in there that you weren't using that we'll be able to help realize that 6 to 7 goal. It's funny if you start thinking about that. What's your average deal size there?
My average profit?
No, your acquisition and then your profit.
Oh, okay. I would say average acquisition cost is around the 40 to 60,000 range.
Okay, let's just use 45,000 then.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to do 6 of those, let's just say a month, right? 6 a month. That's $270 a month in deals for acquisition times 12. That's a $3.2 million business and just wholesaling that you can do on your acquisition side. And then is your profit margin 10 to 15%, or is it higher than that?
I reviewed all of our wholesale deals last year, and our average profit was about $7,100 per deal.
78?
71.
7,100. Okay.
Yeah, just 7,000 per house.
Yeah. 7,100, 42.6. So 42.6 a month times 12. Yeah, 511,000. So $500,000 business just on wholesaling.
Yeah.
Funny, the 3.2 sounds more exciting, doesn't it? But that's great. Yeah. So that's good. And then it's interesting once, starting to hit those numbers, you start looking at like the contract to close, right? The time frame of whenever you put a deal under contract to actually when you close it, and then actually speeding up that process or closing in that gap can really, even if you add one more deal in, it can really change those numbers in a positive way.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay. So lease options, fix and flip, which we just focus everything on wholesale and wholesaling. Okay. So what made you both want to get involved with real estate investing? Annie, was it just on Jay's side, or did you both go to some classes and courses and programs and boot camps?
It was, mainly Jay's side initially, at least. He went and got his real estate license. But then as far as investing goes, we kind of fell into that too.
Yeah, it was purely accidental, Corey.
Really?
Yeah. We bought our first house, and it was my parents' house I grew up in, and they sold it. And then we bought it back from those people. We rehabbed it, lived there for a few years. And then oddly enough, one of our neighbors moved in beside us, was a sex offender, and we had little kids, so we wanted to get out of there.
Oh no!
But we didn't want to sell the house, more for sentimental reasons than anything.
Sure.
But we rented it out. We got our first rent check, made $300 a month on our rent above our mortgage payment. And as soon as I got that first rent check, I was hooked. I was like, these guys are going to pay off my house.
You saw the light, everything. The light just started shining through. You're like, these guys are gonna pay off my house. I don't have to do anything, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Right, and then starting to, if I could do one, how many of these could I do? Right?
Yeah. So
and then it grew from there for sure.
Yeah, it grew from there. Then we figured out that we would be limited on the number of deals we could do from banks. So we started doing more research, and I got a book at the library on lease options and read that, and it came with a disc of contracts. So I was like, I'm legit now.
There's no more napkins. I'm like, can you sign here, Mr. Jones? It's like, it's a napkin. I know, but legally it's okay. So now you have a contract. That's cool. They had those boilerplate contracts in there. That's cool. And then you customized them or took them to an attorney to kind of specify how you wanted your lease options to look.
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
And the cool thing is about lease options too is, some people that don't know about it. I actually did lease options on eBay, believe it or not, back in the day. I would actually put the property on eBay, and I would auction off the option consideration fee. So I would list the property and I would auction off the option consideration fee, and anybody that would pay, even if it was $5, I'd started out at I started out at $100. So anybody that would pay, they were agreeing to all the terms for the deal. So all I cared about was just finding somebody that can agree to the terms, and then the option consideration money to me was just the icing on the cake. So I actually sold a house. I got a house, and I lease optioned it 7 times. I sold the same house over 7 times, and all the option consideration money paid the house off free and clear.
Nice.
So even though, I mean, obviously you want people to pay off the property, especially if you're selling it for a retail price. But the reality is that a lot of them did not. And then you could just resell the property over and over again. So that's cool. Well, tell me again, did you have a moment in your life before real estate that was just kind of sucky for you, or just not where you really liked it to be? I mean, obviously taxes and cleaning houses does not sound very exciting. And did you have some like what I call enough's enough moment where you just said there's got to be another way than what we're doing?
Before real estate, right?
You're right.
Okay. So I would say that before I got into real estate, I was managing a bar, a Scotch and cigar bar.
Scotch and cigar.
Yeah. I was managing that's actually a nationwide video store chain that was here in town.
Okay. Now, when did the DJ, because I remember Ann, before we started this, Ann said you had a DJ company too.
Yeah, that actually during that time frame is when we started. That was our first business.
That was your entrepreneurial start. Okay. Yeah. So you're working at a cigar bar and a Scotch bar. You're working at a video place. Okay. And then some entrepreneurial bug bit you somehow, right? And you said, let's start a DJ business because it'll be our own business and I don't have to work for somebody else. We can work for ourselves, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And Annie had gotten pregnant at the time. She got fired from her job once they found out she was pregnant.
Oh gosh. Wow. That's horrible.
Yeah. So at that point we were realizing that your future and the Scotch and cigar bar I worked for didn't pay their taxes. So like the last night I worked there, the ATF came in and
shut everything down, basically.
Yeah, I served them a drink, which we didn't have a legal license anymore. I thought, I'm going to jail.
Wow.
So all of that, plus I had a really bad drinking problem at the time.
Okay.
And I ended up going to jail anyway on my own. So
I'm laughing now, Jay, but I know at the time it was serious. But this whimsical up and down story, the volatile story of everything that's going on is just kind of it's humorous.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it is now.
Yeah, it is now. Right. Okay. So there was a breaking moment there. Obviously, it's like there's got to be a better way. Jay, obviously the cigar bar and the Scotch bar, the cigar and Scotch bar wasn't obviously the most healing place whenever you're having some alcohol challenges anyway. So actually it's a good thing. So you started the DJ business. That was your first entrepreneurial bug. Then kind of when did real estate flow in there?
Just within a couple of years is when we rented our first house, and then we both got our mortgage license.
Okay.
I got my real estate license, and so Annie was doing loans, and I was showing properties.
Perfect.
And we were starting to network more and grow the number of people that we knew, and start hanging out with other people that invested in real estate.
Which is great, right? Whenever you're hanging out with other people, they inspire you. They say a story. You're like, that person's pretty smart, but they're not any smarter than me, right? There's like if they can do it, I can do it, right? And yeah. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so what was one of your big influences for investing, or who has been one of your influences?
I'll go first. one of mine was actually Greg Clement.
Oh yeah, I know Greg. Great guy from Real Flow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has a big apple farm now. He's a great guy. Great family guy. Gosh, he's always watching him on Facebook. He's posting pictures of his family, and I could see that he could be a big influence. But how is he an influence in you?
We joined Real Flow at the time, and I bought his Sims course, the internet marketing systems. And that's when I started when he went over the 10X formula, how to envision your business 10 times larger than it is. And just doing some of the exercises that he has you do, just, it's not just here's how you internet market, but more mindset and strategies for envisioning a much larger business. So he had a big influence on me in regards to having a bigger vision for what we wanted.
Was Ann right there with you, alongside with you when you were learning this? Did you start learning these kind of ideas together and applying them?
Yeah, we went to San Diego for a Sims conference, and I went because it was San Diego, but
of course.
But I wasn't planning on sitting in on any of it, but the more I sat in on it, the more interested I got. So.
Yep. And then we met Than Merrill and Jeff Watson and
the crew.
Yeah. So we just started hanging out with those guys, and we joined a mastermind group that Greg had, and lots of stuff changed then right away, and we saw huge growth in our business.
That's very fantastic. Quickly. It's fantastic. Amazing how being around people that think differently, give you a different perspective. Right. How that can take your idea, and then 10x it, right? It takes that idea that you had, you're thinking about and you mold it into what you want as in the background says your vision there, which I want to talk to you about in just a sec. But how you can apply it towards your own life, and that new perspective is because they're not in your minutia, they're not in your forest of the day of emotions and everything else you're attached to. They're outside of it. I call it zooming out and getting altitude on your ideas, and which is really one of the most powerful things you can do. If you start thinking differently, you can be different. And people want to be different without thinking different. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
They want that product. They want that washboard abs, right? Without still eating candy bars, right? That's kind of the mentality, right? So you have to change that mindset. What's a big real estate mistake that you have both experienced, and how did you get through it? How can we learn from that?
I think one of the biggest mistakes was what I said when we got started. I got the lease option book and the disc, and we didn't seek legal counsel. Okay. We didn't belong to a mastermind, or we did a lot of things wrong.
Okay.
And I think because of that, when I had the major personal issue of I needed to stop drinking, then I went to jail for a while, and then I went to treatment, and nothing was set up to run our business, and we ended up losing all of our properties.
Oh man.
We didn't know what to do. We hadn't heard of a short sale. This was like 2001, 2, 3. No, 2003, 4.
Wow.
Market hadn't crashed. We didn't know.
Yeah, it's just coming up to it, right?
Yeah, no, Corey Boatwright didn't call us like, hey, we can help you.
This is what you do.
We can help you get out of this.
Oh man.
So I think not having the proper people to turn to and ask the right questions, like, what do we do in this situation?
Yeah.
So when you get that way, and you've experienced this with sellers, and I have too since then, Annie and I both have, when you don't know what to do, you freeze.
Yeah.
Right? You just freeze up.
Yeah.
And you just hope something will happen.
And you don't have any idea as to what to do to make it happen, but
you don't have anybody to turn to. You don't know what to ask. You don't know the questions to ask.
Right. Absolutely.
To get the answers that you want, you don't know those questions to ask. Right.
Yeah. So
So we lost about 10 rental properties, I think 10 or 15 in our personal house. So we had 4 kids and it was January and really nowhere to go.
Yeah, we had adjustable rate mortgages. So, they were all adjusting and we didn't know.
Gosh.
We tried to negotiate with the banks and they weren't having it. So we had to start over. And so that was difficult.
Wow.
But with the success that we had in real estate, we still felt passionate about it. We still felt like it was what we wanted to do, but we knew that we needed more information, more education. We needed to hang out with more of the right people. And that's when we started reaching out to outsiders like Greg and Jeff Watson and other people like that, so that we could get on the right track and have a support group to help us through the process.
It's interesting, that word support group. The word support group, I think, has a negative sometimes for driven guys. And Annie, if I'm talking from a guy perspective, obviously, I'm curious if you feel the same way too. It's hard for guys to ask for help.
Right.
I coach a lot of real estate investors, particularly, but also entrepreneurs. And I know that you said you have a coaching business too.
Right.
Isn't it weird, or do you agree, I guess is the other question, that asking for help almost seems like a negative thing?
Yeah.
It does.
It very much so does.
Yeah. And
it's very weird.
it's strange, right? And it could be one of the best things. I want to say this because there might be somebody listening right now. In fact, your story is already touching so many people right now. They are relating in some way or fashion. So I appreciate you being open and transparent. I really do. This is that's very it's very healing that you actually go through that story and you're so transparent with it. Most people would carry some of those things close to their chest. So the fact you did that, I appreciate it. I want to acknowledge you for that. I also want to say something that somebody else may be thinking about right now is, well, yeah, how is it helpful whenever I ask for help? Well, the reason is because that might be your answer. It might be your answer that you're looking for, that you think you can figure it out. Well, maybe the way that you figure it out is you need to ask for help. Do you understand that might be the answer? And whenever you ask for help, what something incredible happens is that now you're open to saying, what can I do to make my situation better? Or how did you get through this situation? Or what am I doing incorrectly that maybe I could tweak or do a little bit better from, right? And if you're willing to be teachable, right, which is, heck, one of our things in our application for coaching is, are you teachable? If you're willing to be teachable, then you're able to grow in ways that you never thought were possible, right? Because you're thinking differently, which means that you'll become different, right? But if you keep thinking, I know how to do it all, but I want coaching because I've heard coaching is good, but I know how to do it all. If you keep thinking in that same way, then you're not going to get a different result.
Right.
So it's so powerful to talk about reaching out and asking for help because I think that most people don't do it because of those reasons. They look at it like it's a negative thing, and it could be the most powerful thing that you actually ever do. And you can come to that reasoning that is the answer, is that you need help.
Yeah, it's been a game changer for us. Not only do we have our own coaches, but we're also in a mastermind group ourselves, which I think you are as well.
I am in several of them. Yep.
Yeah. And the power of the mastermind group is just phenomenal. I mean, there's nothing like it in the world.
And can you speak to that just a little bit about asking for help and how that's kind of what you've seen how that helped in your life and through these journeys really quickly before we move on?
Yeah. Well, when I first started helping Jay with everything, like I said before, he was had gotten it to where he could only do so much and there was really nothing else that he could do himself. So it was really powerful to me to attend the Life and Air thing with Jason and Chuck, and they laid out all of the business. So that would have never happened, and it would have never catapulted the business to where it is now for sure, because we would have kind of just been stagnant trying to handle all there is to handle with everything that we do by ourselves. So it was huge to realize that that was a possibility and that's what needed to happen.
It's huge. Wow. That's such a powerful story. I want to move back here if we can to your investing strategy. What is a strategy? What we call is our Profit Master investing strategy. What's something that's working really well that you could share kind of quickly in your business right now that's working well? One of the strategies that's really doing well to make you a big profits.
Yeah. So one of our strategies is we have like a 3-part close.
Okay.
So we'll try to do, we'll give them a wholesale price.
Okay.
And we'll see kind of what they, you feel them out with their response and their body language and their, just how they respond to that first offer.
Right.
And if it doesn't seem like they're in the ballpark, then we ask additional questions like, would they be willing, what's the lowest they'll go? Are they willing to take X amount of dollars for their property? Would they take payments, for their equity? Would they allow us to hold it for a couple years before we sell it outright? And so in that instance, we're looking at more taking the property over and then putting a lease option buyer in it.
All right, let's give an example. So let's say you have a $50,000 house, okay, and it's worth, let's say, $80,000. Okay,
yeah.
Walk me through the 3-part close if I'm the seller.
Okay, so Mr. Seller, from what you told me about your house, it looks like if I can do a cash closing, I'm going to be able to close in about 7 to 14 days.
Okay.
And if I can do that and get you out of here where you need to go, and then I'll touch on whatever they told me they're, where they want to go. Mm-hmm. Ask the right questions. And I'll say, Mr. Seller, if we can get you to point B in 2 weeks, are you able to take $40,000 for your house?
Okay, so you're looking basically right at half of whatever it's worth.
Yeah, half to 60%, okay. 50 to 60%.
And is that a hardcore formula that you use right there, or is it just something that you ballpark based on? You've kind of looked at some of the comps by the time you get there, and you know where your number is, or you're just usually in your head, well, I need to be around 50 or 60% of what this property is worth.
Yeah, when we do that, we already know what the retail value is, yep. And we've got an idea what the repairs are. So our formula is pretty much, we take the repairs out and we'll offer them up to 60 to 65%. We try to get it at 60 if we're going to wholesale it.
If you're going to wholesale it, okay.
Yeah, if we're going to buy it, fix it, and flip it, we go up to 65.
So that tells me that in your area, that wholesaling market is around 70 to 75%.
Yeah.
That's what buyers are paying for, 70, 75%?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, you got it for 40. You already know that that a buyer is willing to pay you 56 for it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay. What's the second close?
So the second one, if they're like, there's no way I can go that low, then we'll say, well, what's the lowest amount you're willing to take if we can get you out of here in a couple of weeks?
Okay. Let's say that they're stuck on 50. I can't take anything less than 50.
Yeah. Then I would follow up with, well, there's only one way we can pay you 50, and we'd love to give you what you want. So in this case, we're going to need 12 to 24 months in order to give us time to secure a buyer that we can put into place and get them get their score up just a little bit so they can execute the purchase. So we're going to take over. We'll take over responsibility for repairs. You don't have to worry about any of that. And we're gonna market the house in multiple avenues. We'll probably get 50 or 60 buyers that want your house, and we're going to whittle that down to 3 or 4, and then we're going to pick the best one that's going to be able to execute the quickest.
But you're saying you're giving 50, but what are they getting right then and there?
What's the seller getting?
Mm-hmm. Are you just taking over payments? Is that what your second close is take over payments?
Yeah, take over payments, and they can go do whatever they want to do after that.
Do you usually give them any kind of money as an incentive to do it, or just I'll just start taking over payments in month 45, 60 days out, or what time frame do you usually try to negotiate taking over payments?
Well, typically I won't give them any more than $500.
Okay.
And it's usually less than that.
Right.
And
then you start taking over payments like next month or 60 days
usually
out?
the following month.
Yeah,
We don't typically go out more than 60 days.
Right.
Because the whole idea is we're taking the financial burden off their shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go out much farther than that, then it's not really an advantage to them because they still have to continue to make payments.
And I know some people that do lease options, they want to procure a lease option buyer within the time frame that they have for before making the payment. Is that something that you focus on as well, or do you really start to go through the applications and really find the exact lease option buyer that you really think is going to cash you out in 12 to 24 months?
Our typical turn time when we market the property, we literally will get 50 to 100 applicants for one property.
Wow. So
it's crazy.
It's crazy.
High demand. Wow.
Yeah. So we will whittle it down, like I said, to 3 to 5 good buyers that have good down payments and are close. And
good down payment is 5%, 3 to 5%.
Yeah, 3.5 is our minimum.
Okay. So in this case, they're going to put down, that's so 1,500 to 2,500 down, basically, is what you're looking for. Okay.
Yeah, we do no less than 3.5 because we want them to at least pay their FHA down payment up front.
Yep. And then you're going to sell them the property at full retail, right? Whatever it'll max out at. And if the property needs any repairs, are you going to do the repairs before you go out and get it appraised and sell it to them? Or are you going to sell it to them on what you know the number will be, what you pretty much know the house will appraise for?
90% of the time, we'll do the repairs.
You will. Okay.
And then we'll sell it to them.
Okay.
But the repairs are usually minimal. It's not like if we were buying one to rehab and sell it retail.
Right. Makes sense.
Once in a while, I'll get one. Like last week, I picked one up and it needs quite a bit more repairs, and I don't really want to do it. So I'm selling it to a contractor.
Yeah.
So he's going to do the repairs, and the labor he does will then be his down payment. So I'll literally give him a check for the labor. He'll turn around and pay it right back to me for the down payment.
Kind of work for equity in a way. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, work for equity program.
What's your third close? So you have your wholesale. Here's what I can pay you the least amount. If you want it right now to close the fastest, take over payments. Your second close. What's your third close?
Third one is, well, if neither one of these work for you and you need more money and you want to sell it outright, then we'll set you up with one of our full price property team members to help you get full price for your house. And then
I like how you position that, full price property team members.
Yeah.
All right. So what is their responsibility?
It's a real estate agent in our group that we just refer the property to.
That's really great that you position that differently. So, and it sounds different. It feels different, right? And now I get full price, but how much time frame do you usually tell them that's going to take? And what if they say, I've already used a real estate agent before that, it doesn't work?
Well, then we would talk to them about, well, what kind of marketing did your agent do? Where was it priced? We'll go over all the details and figure out why it was that they couldn't sell it. There's got to be a reason. It's either price, location, or condition. Those are the only three.
Right.
That's it. Either your price is too high, your condition is too bad, or your location sucks.
That's right. You should make a PLC or something like that for your acronym. That would be.
There you go.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right. So what's one piece of advice that you'd share about running a successful real estate business?
I would say that you should definitely look into hiring a coach or a mentor and joining a mastermind group, and surrounding yourself with people that have the same goals and the same mindset that you have, and reach out to those people and see how you can help them. And in turn, they will naturally help you.
So powerful. Serving others first is
Yeah.
It's such a very, very powerful thing. And you jump in here as you need to on your thoughts here. If you had to start all over, what would you do differently? How would you change? How would you change things? Maybe some advice for newbies.
That's a great question. I think we would just set it up differently from the get-go. Now that we know how things should have been, if that makes not that it's not set up correctly now, because it is, but a way to avoid all of the chaos and headaches and ups and downs that we experienced personally. We help our coaching students set up their businesses properly from the jump so that they don't have to experience the same pitfalls and aches and pains that we did.
It's very rewarding, right? To be able to do that, to be able to go back and kind of give the advice that you give yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically you don't have anything kind of specific that sticks out to you on if you had to start all over, let's say one thing that you'd change.
I would probably do the mind map from the get-go, where we want to go and what we want to include and all of the different aspects of that, and really break down each area of what we want to do, how we want to do it, who's going to do what kind of thing. So going in, we know, what's going to happen and how it's going to happen from the get-go.
So roles and responsibilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. That's good. Okay. What's one of your favorite motivational or business quotes?
Well, Jay has a quote that he actually came up with, and then I had, for Christmas last year, had it put on a canvas, and it hangs right by our front door so everybody can see it coming and going. So I think that's probably the best one that we both have.
I'm dying to hear. What is it?
All right. So it's commit with a renewed conviction to do your best work, be the best person you can, and serve others by helping better their lives. And by doing so, you will receive the greatest fulfillment in life.
Wow, that's so powerful. I'm going to put all this in the show notes, by the way, and I'm going to make that a tweetable. I believe that would be great. That's fantastic. How did you arrive at that? That sounds like something that really had a lot of thought involved.
I just felt like that we're here to serve one another. And if we're serving others and reminding ourselves daily, recommitting daily to our goals and our dreams and our visions, and recommitting daily to better ourselves and others around us, then I don't know about you, but my life is always more fulfilled when I help someone else achieve success over myself achieving success.
100%. It's one of the secrets to life, is serving others. It really is. Fulfillment comes from serving others. Fantastic. What book do you recommend one that's changed your life? Like maybe one book besides, I know one of them that you're probably going to mention. But what's one book that you recommend that changed your life?
I think one that is really good, actually, that I read this year is The One Thing from Gary Keller.
Love that book.
Yeah, that was really powerful and simplifies things and just lets you laser focus on that one thing that's going to take you to the next level.
Yeah, there seems like there's 20 things, but there's just one.
Yeah. There's always 20.
There's always 20, right? And what about you?
Well, there's a list, obviously, but I like 3 Feet from Gold by Greg Reed, and let's see, Think and Grow Rich, obviously,
right,
and Life and Air, of course.
Yeah, Life and Air is a great book.
Life and Air is a great book.
And then ours, that's coming out. So
there you go. You can plug your book here, especially at the end. I want to hear the name of the book, and I like the background there for the vision focused life. I love that. And people that are listening right now, they can't see that, but that's what you have in your background here. I love that. Okay, so what is a favorite mobile app that you use daily in your business?
Okay, so I love the financial calculator.
Yeah, we use that a lot.
What's the name? Is it just called Financial Calculator? What's the name of the app?
It's fncalculator.com.
FN calculator. Okay.
Yeah. But what I like about it is it breaks down all the different types of mortgages.
Right.
So you can punch in there and analyze what your profits are going to be on certain properties. It has a currency converter, compound interest calculator, credit card payoff calculator. So you can figure out which bills you should pay off first and what's second, what's third. You can analyze your interest rates. And if you can't tell, I have a finance background. So.
Yeah, no, I can kind of get that a little bit right now. Yeah, that's cool. Ann, is the same one? Do you use that calculator a lot, or do you have another one?
We use that and Cam Scanner. Cam Scanner kind of is just for the rehab guys. That way they can just take a picture of a receipt or a gift card or whatever the case may be. So,
but it's also great, like if someone's just starting out and they're mobile, like a wholesaler.
Right.
If you're going to go to a property, get documents signed, they can take a picture, convert it to a PDF, and Cam scan it right to the title company, right on the spot. That's
a good one. Just in terms of scanner, I have also used one, but it has to do with Evernote. So if you ever used Evernote, it's great. They have an actual scanner though. The Evernote has. It's called Scannable. You might check it out. It's called Scannable, and I've used a lot of different scanners. And Scannable has been one of the easiest ones I've used before because it takes a picture of the doc and it auto crops for you. Yeah. So it makes everything really nice. And then you just add to the next document. So once that one's okay, you hit okay. And it says you want to scan something next. And so it adds to that one. So if you have 5-page contract, then it'll be one PDF and it looks real nice and clean. So some of them you have to, you have to do one scan and you add another part to it. But this one, you can add multiple documents. So that one's called Scannable. You might check it out.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. We will. Yeah, Cam Scanner, you can do the same thing, package them up into one PDF. So it sounds similar, but we'll check it out because it might have other things on there.
Yeah, I might check it out. And if you look at it, I was going to look at it online, but if you have to type in Evernote Scannable at the same time, because if you don't, it won't pull it up. Yeah, so I'm looking at it right now. It's called Evernote Scanner, but you have to type in Evernote Scannable to see it. And then once you're there, you can actually just go right to it, and you can download the app. It's a mobile app. So you put Evernote Scannable mobile app, and then you'll find it right there. Okay.
Cam Scanner says CS on it.
CS.
Yeah, if people are looking, it says CS.
CS. Great. Okay.
The other one that we use a lot is Dropbox.
Oh, I love Dropbox. I have my whole life in Dropbox.
Yeah.
It's a whole backup for the computer.
Yeah. So our whole team uses it.
Yes.
When the guys are doing projects, fixing stuff, they get done with a phase, they take all the photos of phase 1 completion, load it into Dropbox. They shoot videos. We send it to our private money lenders so they can see the progress.
That's great.
And it just makes it really nice.
So one Dropbox per property, correct?
No.
Oh, so one Dropbox and then one folder in there per property? Yeah. Okay.
Folder per property. It's the professional version of Dropbox.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we use the pro version. I think it's like $70 or $90 a month or something like that. But
like over 1 terabyte or something crazy.
Yeah, it's well worth it, especially if you like to send videos, because it's so hard to send even over a 2-minute video via email. So that makes it great to send all those videos out.
That's great. So you do a little video of the property before and the video afterward?
Yeah. After each phase, and then we send it to the private money investors, and then the guys can access the folder that has all of the different work that's laid out to do for the property. They're broken down into phases and costs and budgets, and all of that's in there, so they can see all of that.
That's great. Well, what's a morning routine? Do you have one that you stick by every morning?
We work out together. So
That's
it's
fun.
it's not every morning, but we do typically 3 or 4 days a week.
That's great.
We usually do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Do you get up early? I mean, how early do you get up? Do you have like a certain time?
Yeah, we have 4 kids. So 3 of them are homeschooled and one of them is in high school. So we get up I get up and take her to high school typically. Jay does sometimes depending on what he's got going. But 9 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All of our team knows that that's what's happening. All of our kids know that's what's happening.
So you carve that out. That's your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we try to finish up most of our work by 3. So, we really try to keep our work at 25 to 30 hours a week.
That's great.
And the dog starts barking again.
With 4 kids. I mean, some people that are hearing that right now are just astounded that that's even possible.
Well,
and you homeschool.
Yeah. If you asked us 3 years ago, is that possible for us? We would have said absolutely not.
Yeah, for sure.
That's incredible. And it's a testament to your discipline, but it's also a testament to the way you think.
Yeah,
the way you think is different than most people.
Yeah.
Well, we knew that was our goal, even though we didn't think it was possible. We still wrote it down on our vision.
Mm-hmm.
And it's strange how when you write stuff down, just in the first year that we did that, 80% of what we wrote down came to fruition.
Wow.
I was blown away. So it's very important to write down what you want in your life and review it regularly.
Regularly review it. What's the single greatest lesson that you've learned that's helped you get to where you are today? It's a good segue right into that.
For me, it's mapping out what we want, writing it down.
Yeah, writing it down. That's what I was going to say too. Be very clear about what you want, even
and why. Yeah. Why do you want it?
The main reason is why. Why do you want to do what you want to do, and why do you want things to happen the way that they want to?
Would you also add the win in there too?
Yeah.
We put specific as possible. Yes.
Yeah, we put timelines on stuff too.
Yeah.
We typically will set goals now for the first 4 months of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And then we revisit it and reset new goals, and we review what we got done and why we didn't get certain things done. And we break that down into a weekly goal, so every weekend we look at, okay, what did we get done this week? Why didn't we get done what we set our goals at? Or if we did, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know about you, but with us, we set our goals pretty high. So it's quite typical that.
Yeah, you want to do that's the kind of the concept of 10x, right? You shoot for the moon, and if you don't hit it, you're going to hit somewhere halfway that you even thought was, so much further than what if you just set your normal goal of what you thought was possible. So, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I want to give you a recommendation for before we go here is there's a book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution.
Oh, okay.
If you've never read this book, it was a very big game changer for us and our team, and for also the people I work with on coaching. Basically, the concept is that you have from X to Y by Z, right? From X, to Y. So where you're here, getting clear where you are, where you want to go, and then by what time that you want to be there, right? So it's a little formula that you can kind of apply, which it sounds like you're already doing anyway. But there's so much more to that book, and I believe that if you are big readers, then that book, and you also mentioned here that you have coaching students, that book will rock your world, and then typically whenever it rocks our world, you want to teach it, right? Because that's the best way of learning. If something affects you, you want to teach it. So there's these different kind of goals they talk about in there on setting for yourself, on lag goals compared to league goals, and this very interesting way that they position how you think and also how you execute. So I think you'll love that book. just as a quick recommendation there. Okay,
Yeah,
so
thank you very much.
what are you most grateful for?
What am I most grateful for?
What are you most grateful for?
Probably my family and the ability to be a part of their lives every day. Kids and Jay. You know, it's not very typical that husband and wife get to work together every day.
Right.
Doesn't always work out well when they do. But yeah, I think that's it. Just being able to be a part of my kids and Jay's life every day.
Yeah, is that the same for you, Jay?
Oh yeah, of course. I would say also on top of that would be the opportunity God's given me to better other people's lives.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I got not just a second chance, but multiple additional chances in life, you know, where if circumstances had been different, I wouldn't be here. So I look at it as I was put here for a purpose, and I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity to continue to help other people get in a better position.
I can hear it in your voice, you know, how sincere you are about that. And I can tell that you're going to be and are going to be fantastic coaches, and people are going to have their lives changed because your life was changed. And sharing the things and the principles and lessons that you've learned, and all those ups and downs, even on those downs, you know, going through things that we go through in our lives, the trials, the tribulations, those are the times that we actually learn the most about not only others, but we learn about ourselves if we're willing to accept it, if we're willing to accept the lesson. And when we are, it can be very, very powerful. So that's a beautiful thing to be grateful for, both of you, to family and Jay, and then the way you're thinking and serving others. It's just that's incredible. You mentioned this before about a mentor and a coach, and so I don't think we really need to go through it again, but just how important it is. But what point would you recommend hiring a coach or mentor for your success?
I would do it right away.
Right away.
Whether that's you pay someone to coach you, right? Or you find someone who has already done what you want to do, and you help them with their transactions, you know, or ask them if they'll joint venture with you some way, so that you don't make the big mistakes that other people make that don't have the support in their corner to help them.
Right.
Saves you time and money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
lots of stress and unnecessary.
Lots of stress too, right? Yeah. If you summarize it, and I feel like I already know the answer to this for you guys, because you've been so clear through the whole time, and it just threads through your integrity of who you are and how you're teaching. But one thing I like to know is why do you do what you do? If you had to summarize it all up, but I feel like I kind of already know the answer to it. But you want to elaborate a little bit more before we tie this up?
I think we do what we do because we've been in a position similar to lots of other people that are in that position now. You know, when we lost everything and had nowhere to go, nowhere to turn to, nobody that we could say, hey, how do we fix this?
Yeah.
Was this a possibility to get out of without losing it all, which ultimately happened? But I think that's the main reason that we do what we do, because we've been there, we've done it, and we know what it's like not to know what to do or where to go or how to handle any of it. So
yeah, we know how much it changes someone's life, even if they just do one deal a year.
Right.
You know, if they can make 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20 grand in one deal per year, that one deal alone just changes their whole perspective.
It does, right.
And everybody's doing it for different reasons. You know, we have some coaching students that are doing it to pay for private school. Some are doing it for braces for their kids. You know, some are doing it to get out of their jobs. Some are doing it so they can support their elderly mother.
Yeah.
Right.
So we feel blessed that we can have the opportunity to help them accomplish their goals and dreams, and that's the number one reason why that we do it.
Sure.
Well, let's come back full court. How can we help you accomplish your goals and dreams? And what can we do to serve you? I know you have a nice little backdrop here. It says Jay and Annie Adkins presents Focus, Vision, Focus Life, Living with Extreme Purpose. Tell me a little bit about that. What can we do to serve you, and how can we best get in contact with you?
Well, Vision Focus Life is our book.
Yay.
And it will be out after the very first part of the year. So like the first week or so of January. We don't really have a definite release date yet, but that's the goal.
Okay.
Next few weeks. Yeah.
And, we're doing the coaching program, which hasn't gotten a really big kickoff yet, but hopefully with the book, it kind of accelerates that as well. So we have spots open in our coaching program. We have the book that's coming out. We have lots of things happening.
It sounds like it. Right.
Yeah. So we have visionfocuslife.com.
Okay.
And so they can reach out.
Is it focused or focus? Yeah. Focused.
Focused Life.
Visionfocuslife.com. I love that. Okay.
Yep. And it's Jay at visionfocuslife.com or Annie at visionfocuslife.com.
Just Jay, right?
Yep.
Or Annie, Annie. Okay.
Yep. We're also on Facebook, Jay Adkins, Annie Adkins,
All that fun stuff.
Newark, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio area. Just look for the bald head.
Look for the bald head. I love it. We need to make sure that there might be like this icon on the back there. It's like a bald head. That's great. Well, this has been one of my favorite interviews, I have to tell you, because most of the time, and we got tons of great people that come on here that are really successful in their own right. But the fact that you're willing to share some of the things you have, it touched me. I know it touched other listeners. And it's what it's about. And thank you for sharing your strategy. Thank you for sharing your mindset. Again, I think it's you probably somehow married an angel there, Jay, because having 4 kids and she may be part angel, Annie, and being homeschooled and going through everything it takes to stay in a marriage and make things work. These days when I see marriages that's been together for a long time, I know that in that marriage, there's a lot of forgiveness and such a great, cool testimony for Life and Air, which we didn't get a chance to really talk too much about, but I've been through that program. Sean McCloskey and Steve Cook, the creators of that program, have basically put together an amazing program there. And I know that that's rocked your life. And I know that that's something that you're wanting to kind of take what you learned from that and again apply it in your own way, maybe in your own vision focused life, and move forward and have others learn from your experiences and kind of carry the baton forward with your own experiences. So, but thank you again for taking the time to be on here, and it's cool to see you also in our coaching program too for wholesaling. So I'll be excited to hear when one of those students, Jay, or you uses one of those. I'm looking for the testimony.
I'll do it, brother.
So I can say I had a part of his success. Yeah, he's doing amazing things. All right, so I appreciate it. Thank you again for taking the time to be on here. It really makes a difference.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. It was a lot of fun, and you're a great host. And
yeah, absolutely.
We're definitely learning a lot in your course, and we appreciate you sharing your information with us as well.
I will appreciate you saying that. I will put everything in the show notes. We'll have all your links in there, so everyone will have an easy way to contact you. Okay. And I encourage others to connect with you. Because you just are, you can just tell that you've been through things and you're just willing to share at such a deeper level than most. And that's what it takes really to be a successful coach. You have to care. There's a lot of people that do it for a paycheck, and if you do, I promise you, it's a flash in the pan, and it won't last, and it won't be fulfilling. But when you care, it makes a difference, especially when it has to do with your core kind of mission statement of life of serving others.
Sure.
It makes a big difference. So you're going to be fantastic at it, and I look forward to the huge success stories that are going to come from people working with you.
Awesome.
Great.
Thanks,
awesome.
Corey.
Thanks, Corey.
All right.
I'll see you tonight, brother.
Yeah, that's right. The live Q&A. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.
You've been listening to another Real Estate Investing Profits Master Podcast Series. To receive your free real estate book, Down and Dirty, Ultimate Real Estate Investing Quick Start Guide, how to quit your job to start flipping houses in 90 days or less, head online and go to realestateinvestingprofits.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Real Estate Investing Profits. Thanks again for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode.